I'm Hugh Evans and I'm 23 years old, and together I believe we can and will make poverty history.
สวัสดีค่ะ Hugh Evans เป็นชาวออสเตรเลียที่สนใจประเด็นความยากจนตั้งแต่เด็กนะคะสมัยวัยรุ่นได้เดินทางไปหลายประเทศค่ะและหนึ่งในนั้นคือประเทศฟิลิปปินส์เขาได้ไปนอนพักอาศัยอยู่ที่บ้านของเด็กชายรุ่นเดียวกับเขาคนหนึ่งแต่ว่าเป็นบ้านที่อยู่ในสลัมนะคะก็เลยทำให้เขารู้สึกว่าต้องทำอะไรสักอย่างเพื่อแก้ไขปัญหาความยากจนเขาก็เลยก่อตั้งองค์กรที่ชื่อว่า Oak Tree Foundation เป็นการเอาเยาวชนคนรุ่นใหม่ในออสเตรเลียมาระดมสมองการแก้ไขปัญหาความยากจนในที่สุดเขาได้รับรางวัล Young Australian of the Year Award หรือว่ารางวัลเยาวชนดีเด่นของออสเตรเลียเมื่อปี 2004 ตอนนั้นเขาอายุ 21 ปีค่ะต่อมาเขาก็ก่อตั้งอีกหนึ่งองค์กรที่ชื่อว่า Global Poverty Project ก็เป็นองค์กรที่ยังมุ่งด้านนี้อยู่แก้ไขปัญหาความยากจนมีดาราดังอย่างคุณฮิว แจ็คแมนเป็นที่ปรึกษานะคะแคมเปญหนึ่งที่น่าสนใจก็คือว่าให้คนมาลองใช้ชีวิตด้วยเงิน1เหรียญ25 เซนต์ดูประมาณสัก38 บาทต่อวันนะคะจะได้รู้ค่ะว่าเส้นแบ่งตรงนี้ของความยากจนสุดๆชีวิตลำบากขนาดไหนคุณฮิวจะมาบอกพวกเรานะคะว่าทำไมเราทุกคนควรจะสนใจประเด็นปัญหาความยากจนและเราจะมีส่วนช่วยแก้ไขปัญหาได้ยังไงบ้างค่ะWhat drew you to humanitarian work?
My work in the area of global poverty started when I was 12 years old. It was then that I was living in Australia, and a lady from World Vision came and spoke at our school about raising money for World Vision. And as a 12-year-old guy, I was quite an eager young person, so I put up my hand and I thought, how cool would it be if we could become the highest fundraising school in the country? And when I was 14, we achieved that together, so World Vision sent me to the Philippines to see their work firsthand. And there was one night in the Philippines that impacted my life to such a huge extent that I've never ever been the same since. And this night I was taken to a slum called Smoky Mountain, built on top of a rubbish dump in the centre of Manila. And World Vision placed me in the care of a guy my own age. We were both 14 years old. He was a young boy by the name of Sunny Boy. But where I'd come from, suburban Melbourne in Australia, he had tattoos all over his forearm because he was about to become his gang leader at the age of 14. And he took me to his house and we cooked this meal together that night, and naturally when it came time to go to sleep I thought we'd be going to some kind of bedroom to go to sleep, but we simply cleared away the pots and pans and lay down on this concrete slab, myself, Sunny Boy and the rest of his family, and we laid there that night with the smell of rubbish all around us and cockroaches crawling all around, and I didn't sleep at all. But I remember just thinking to myself, it's pure chance that I was born where I was born and he was born into extreme poverty. Our roles could have equally been reversed. And so I committed that night. I said, I'm going to commit my life to this. Yeah.
What about your parents? Did they play any role in nurturing you to be interested in these issues?
They both were really encouraging. And so when I got back from the Philippines, I said to them I wanted to spend a year living in India. And they weren't very excited about that idea, but eventually they let me go. And so I went at the age of 15 to live in India for a year. Yeah.
What happened in India?
I was living in the Himalayan mountains in a community called Mussoorie at a school called Woodstock School, which is an international school there. And every weekend I'd come and try to volunteer with Mother Teresa's orphanage in Dehradun, or also in the slums of Delhi. And that year totally turned my life upside down. I think I went to India as a very self-conscious 15-year-old student, and through just seeing the immense challenges of those living in extreme poverty, I came back with the realization that 2/3 of the world don't live as we live, and it's really what sharpened my focus and perspective on these issues. That age I thought, this is it, I want to do everything I can.
And then you went to South Africa as well?
Yeah, so South Africa happened a few years later. I finished high school in 2001, and I got into a degree to do a law and science degree at Monash University in Melbourne, but I knew that my passion wasn't to become a lawyer immediately, and so I deferred that and went to live in South Africa for a year, working as World Vision's first youth ambassador. I was living at an orphanage called God's Golden Acre. It was an orphanage for 100 children who had been orphaned by HIV, AIDS and violence in KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa, between Durban and Pietermaritzburg. And there, that year was incredible. Like, I arrived and the lady who founded the orphanage, she said, Hugh, I see you've done some work for World Vision. Could you establish for us a child sponsorship program? And I was only 19 years old, you know, I was like, of course I can. And I put up my hand and I thought, okay, well, let's give it a shot. And so I literally went door to door with the social workers, door knocking on thousands of doors in the communities to find the orphaned and vulnerable children, those who'd been orphaned due to HIV/AIDS, who were trying to survive on their own and needed support. And then I went to Chicago and pitched the program to Oprah Winfrey, and she got very excited that she came back to Africa at Christmas time and sponsored 20,000 children at our orphanage and in the surrounding region. So our program just grew immensely, and that was really a key tipping point for our work. I think we went to a new level at that stage.
หลังจากกลับจากการเป็นอาสาสมัครในชุมชนชนบทที่แอฟริกาใต้ในปี 2003 Hugh Evans ในวัย 20 ปีได้ร่วมกับนิโคลัส แมคเคย์ก่อตั้งมูลนิธิ Oak Tree เพื่อเป็นองค์กรช่วยเหลือและพัฒนาโดยเน้นไปที่การศึกษาและการพัฒนาคนรุ่นใหม่บริหารองค์กรโดยเยาวชนอายุระหว่าง 16 ถึง 26 ปี
You founded the Oak Tree Foundation.
Yes.
What does it do?
The Oak Tree Foundation is Australia's first youth-run aid and development organisation and has now become the largest youth organisation in the country.
How old? Youth?
Well, you have to be under the age of 25. So I retired 4 years ago when I turned 25 and I stepped down. It's only driven by young people. So the board has a majority of young people on it. All the staff and volunteers are under the age of 25. And people often think that young people don't have the capacity to change the world, but we proved with the Make Poverty History movement that they do. Young people are enormously powerful if they're mobilised together.
So what were the concrete achievements while you were there?
Well, we provided educational opportunities for over 40,000 young people in 6 countries. We established a great program called Schools for Schools, where we linked schools in South Africa and across Papua New Guinea with schools in Australia and set up a school partnership program so that they could actually support each other's activities, teacher exchange, curriculum exchange. So that was from a community development perspective. We had a significant impact, raising millions of dollars and sending 40,000 kids to school, which was great.
Wow.
But the kind of the more policy impact was the work we did with Make Poverty History, which was running the Make Poverty History concert, the 07 campaign that ultimately led to the government to double foreign aid. So
the Australian government.
Correct. Yeah, and that was all driven by Australia's youth.
ในปี 2006 Hugh Evans ได้ร่วมจัดฟรีคอนเสิร์ต Make Poverty History ในคืนวันที่ 17 พฤศจิกายนที่เมลเบิร์นออสเตรเลียในเวลาเดียวกันกับที่ออสเตรเลียเป็นเจ้าภาพประชุมสุดยอดของกลุ่มประเทศเศรษฐกิจขนาดใหญ่ G20 พอดีคอนเสิร์ตจัดขึ้นเพื่อกระตุ้นให้ประชาชนโดยเฉพาะคนรุ่นใหม่ได้ตระหนักถึงความยากจนและเป็นการส่งสารไปถึงผู้นำ G20 ให้ช่วยเหลือด้านการเงินกับประเทศยากจนให้มากกว่านี้นักร้องดังๆที่ขึ้นเวทีก็อย่างเช่น U2 และ Pearl Jam.
This is a big change for Australia itself as well, right?
Yeah, I mean,
youth movement.
Oh, absolutely, it's huge. I mean, like there has been. It's not like it's the first time young people in Australia have mobilised, but it's now become the largest youth organisation in the country by far. You know, having 106,000 supporters is very significant, and I think it's just amazing because I stepped down 4 years ago and the team has just been going so strong ever since. It's just, I think, a sign to the fact that it's all about the vision, not about individuals.